Okay, in this video I'm going to give some demonstration calculations of converting between milliwatts and dBm. And in fact, milliwatts is our linear measure of optical power. That is really the fundamental way that we measure power, either optical or electrical, or any type of power. And dBm is a decibel scale, which is appropriate to communication systems because of the wide range of powers that do exist in our systems. So the conversions from linear units or watts to logarithmic units or decibels include some examples with milliwatts, but also microwatts and watts. And converting in the other direction, you see I've got a range of dBm values that I've asked to convert into various linear units. So I've got my calculator ready here to type some of these numbers in. And basically we're going to be applying the same two formulas over and over again. That is that the power in dB is 10 times log base 10 of the power in milliwatts divided by 1 milliwatt. And the 1 milliwatt in the denominator just cancels the units on the power. So this is the equation I'll use for the first 4 problems. And so I'll say that the power in dBm units here is 10 log 10 of 50. Because 50 is already in milliwatt units, which is what I need here. And I've seen students get a little bit confused about this 10 down here. We're not multiplying by 10 or anything like that. This is just indicating that this is the base 10. And the button on your calculator for base 10 is labeled LOG. Okay, that one is base 10 on every calculator that I know of. Okay, so log base 10 of 50 times 10. I'll go 10 times, and then I hit the log button, and it gives me a left parenthesis, so I put a 50, and then I add a right parenthesis, hit equal. I get 1.698 times 10 to the 1, or 16.98. I'm going to go ahead and write 17 dBm. Okay? And that we know because 50 is half of 100, and 100 milliwatts is 20 dBm, and when you cut in half, you subtract 3 dB. 20 minus 3 is 17. Let me do another one here. P dBm is 10 log base 10. It's already in milliwatts, 0.01. I don't need a calculator for this one because log base 10 of 0.01 is negative 2. Because 10 to the negative 2 power is 0.01. So negative 2 times 10 is negative 20. Okay. Let's see. I may have misspoke earlier when I said 50 milliwatts was, 50 milliwatts is half of 100 milliwatts, which is 20 dBm. Yeah, I said it correctly. Next, P dBm is 10 log base 10. Now I need the value in milliwatts. I've got 250 microwatts. Microwatts are smaller than milliwatts by a factor of 1,000 because it goes milli, micro, nano, pico. Okay, so micros are smaller by a factor of 1,000, and so 250 micros is 0.25 milliwatts. I'm going to go ahead and write 250 microwatts, and I'm going to go ahead and multiply by 1,000 microwatts per 1 milliwatt. And you see I'm doing the conversion right inside the parentheses, and you can see then that the microwatts cancel, and leaving me with milliwatts. So the microwatt units cancel. And 250 over 1,000 gives me the 0.25 that I was talking about earlier. Okay? And so this is 10 log 10, 0.25. And on my calculator, 10 times log 10.25. And I get negative 6.02. I'm going to call it negative 6 dB. Yeah. Okay. And 250 microwatts is 1/4 of a milliwatt. And every time I cut the milliwatt power in half, I subtract 3 dBs. And 1/4 means I've cut one in half twice. So minus 3 and minus 3 gives minus 6 dBm. Finally, 8 watts is 8,000 milliwatts. Okay, because a milli is 1,000th of a watt. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the 8,000 here. P in dBm is 10 log 10 of 8,000. And this we can do in our head also if we really work at it, think about it. But let me just type it on the calculator. I get 39 dB. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and finish these next 4 problems converting the other direction. In this direction, I have to turn this equation inside out, solving for the power in milliwatts. And when I do that, I get to solve for P in milliwatts is 10 raised to the power in, my equation is supposed to have a dBm on it, dBm over 10. And so I'm going to raise 10 to the dBm over 10, to the power in dBm over 10. So the power in milliwatts is 10 raised to the 3 over 10, or 10 to the 0.3 power. And I can type that in on my calculator, 10, and I'm going to use the caret 0.3 equals 1.99. I'm going to call this 2 milliwatts. Okay. And this makes sense because 3 dBm is 3 above 0. 1 milliwatt is 0 dBm. And I've doubled it on the linear scale, so I add 3 dB on the decibel scale. 6 dBm power in milliwatts is 10 to the 6/10, or 10 to the 0.6. This one is 0.6, and I'm going to use the 10 to the button here. And I get 3.98. I'm going to call this 4. Here I've doubled again on the linear scale, and I've added 3 on the decibel scale. Power in milliwatts here. I have negative 13 dBm, 10 to the negative 13 over 10. And I have 10 to the minus 1.3 therefore. And I can do that. I can 10 to the minus 1.3 on my calculator gives me 5 times 10 to the minus 2, 0.05 milliwatts, and that is 50 microwatts. Okay, because a microwatt is 1,000th of a milliwatt. Okay, finally, P in milliwatts for the part D here is 10 to the 16/10, or 10 to the 1.6. And on my calculator, 10 raised to the 1.6 gives me 3.98 times 10 to the 1, 39.8. I'm going to go ahead and call it 40 milliwatts. And this one can also be calculated using the rules of 10 and the rules of 3. Okay, hope this helps.